Hello and welcome to the Nightmare Fuel podcast. I'm Reese, and as always being joined by Hagbard Celine.
Hello.
Mr. Famous, featured by Sargon of Akkad.
Yeah. Don't make too big a deal of it.
It's gonna be the entire show. So we're gonna get right into it because we have a response from one n8glenn.
Yes.
Who's going to take us down a peg. We'll just get into that.
This is gonna hurt, guys. Just be prepared for this.
This is one of the stupidest videos I've ever seen in my life.
Hi everybody, it is Sunday, June 5th, 2016.
I always love that he dates his videos. He does that to almost all of them. It's great.
For posterity, Hagbard.
Yeah.
Come on.
Of course. So, when future generations find this, they'll know where this came
We're
from.
going to send these up in the satellite so other cultures can study them.
Thanks for stopping by. I just saw a video responding to one of my videos, and this was a bunch of new atheist Sam Harris followers.
I always love, he's literally just a basket of buzzwords. Everything he says sounds like it came out of fucking, Salon magazine.
Yeah, exactly. He might as well have said cultists.
Yeah.
He really might have.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's just amazing to watch his mind work because he literally just accuses people of being, buzzwords. I mean, he called us right-wing nutjobs at some point. It's just what he does. He's literally like a soundboard. He's a human soundboard.
He's a caricature of what a regressive person is.
Yeah, he seriously is.
It looked like just kind of going through my video and laughing and scoffing and mocking everything I say.
Yes, and here you are making a serious response.
And I think that's complete bullshit, because I actually went back and listened to our first response to him. We made fun of him slightly, but we did offer arguments towards him. But because we made fun of his apartment at one point, he's going to latch onto that and not take any of our criticism seriously. Okay. I see, friend.
That's okay. The next video is worse. It involves a TV tray and an air mattress. So, yeah, just brace.
I didn't even watch the next one. Oh.
And look, he's got food in the background right now.
Oh, it's just such a slob.
And kind of just dismissing it out of hand. I don't know who these guys are, but
That's okay. We didn't know who you were. It wasn't like a personal attack, dude.
Yeah, I just happened to... I saw one of your videos linked on Twitter, I think by the Flying Monkeys. And so I checked out your channel, and I was like, this is a gold mine.
It's hilarious. I don't understand how he thinks he's accomplishing anything through this.
I don't know who these guys are.
I mean, we're playing on the internet. Yeah, I mean, we're playing on the internet, really. I mean, we find random-ass videos and we poke sticks at them, and you are just kicking, dude. It's fantastic.
Oh, no. n8glenn doesn't know who we are.
Oh, I knew who you were before this.
How will I go on?
Whoever you are, let's have a debate. Let's talk. Let's you and me, your whole crew, or just you, or whoever. However many of you there are.
I'll fight all yous.
Yeah, I can take all of them.
Stick up your dukes. How do you want to do this? You want to do this one at a time, or you want to do this all at once? It doesn't matter to me.
Bring one, bring 100.
Put up your dukes and show your manhood. Come on. Put your dink on the table.
I saw your debate skills, Nate. I'm not exactly impressed. Not wanting to subject myself to that again, certainly.
No.
Let's have a debate. Because
his debate style is to assert conspiratorial claims. That's his entire debate style. And for the record, I've actually had several discussions with academics and even Palestinian. The guy that I've discussed several times, that's like a Palestinian defendant who has like a weird hat and all this other shit in the car and little smart car covered in stickers, Free Palestine. Even he said this was too far. Even he said we kind of have to acknowledge that there's a conflict and it's not one-sided. But, Hamas doesn't support terrorist attacks, right?
Yeah, it really is absurd. His idea that the United States has inserted all of these dictators There's no problem with Islam. There's no problem with the culture. It's really just Western intervention. Like,
Yeah,
this is...
and even the CIA coup of Iran, that's actually like the time period everyone then points to now and goes, do you see how peaceful and secular Iran was? It's like, yeah, that was the asshole we installed who said cut that shit out. And then they'll simultaneously point and go, but see that terrible Western intervention? What fucking what?
Clearly. It has to be Western imperialism, dude. How could it be anything else?
On video, real time, because, you know, I think this deserves a little bit more than just to go through everything I'm saying and just laugh and make these dismissive statements.
I don't.
That,
No.
you know, a lot of them you don't have a clue what you're talking about. Now, I want to debate all of you.
I love it when he says, every time he says it, it's so hard not to break down laughing. I'll debate all of you.
I feel, part of me, he is an asshole, don't get me wrong. Part of me feels really bad for this guy. You can just tell what a terribly dull and painful life it's been. And just how broken down and just, it's sad to look at.
Yeah, I mean, just look at the expression we've caught. I don't feel any animosity towards this guy.
Yeah, no, he's not, there's people we review who I, like, legitimately hate.
Yeah,
He's
certainly.
not one of
He's not one of them.
I want to keep it civil, okay? So I'll listen to what you have to say, then you listen to what I have to say. And we'll try not to talk over each other.
We did that.
Yeah, it was a waste of time because when he starts rolling, holy shit, this is the format he's used to. He's used to sitting here and talking for 13 to 20 minutes at any given time and just going.
Yeah, like, and every time during that debate when I would try to interject, because it was mostly you versus him and me trying to moderate, and every time I tried to insert and be like, okay, you guys are kind of talking over each other, he'd be like, oh, I don't get a chance to talk? Like, yeah, no, I'm going to give you a chance to talk, stupid piece of shit. You need to... Oh.
Yeah, it was so Spurgy. And again, he just makes assertions like the CIA controls the Middle East, and I'm just supposed to either accept or what? You didn't present any evidence of that. You just said the CIA controls the entire Middle East. I mean, that's amazing. Again, I'd love you to tell that to the Saudi king. I'm sure he deeply appreciates that.
Because I've had debates with Nazis and white supremacists.
4 years ago. 4
He
years
always wants to
ago.
link us to that. And what's this? Is this a comparison, Nate?
Yeah, of course it is. That's what
What are you
that's
getting
what he
at,
said
Nate?
several times in the
No,
debate.
don't be such a pussy. Just come out and say it.
No, you see the sideways glance, how he can't even like face the camera.
Well, you know, I've debated Nazis before.
And it wasn't always so civil. But if you want to, you know, if you want to make it uncivil, I'm good with that too. I'm down with whatever. But I'd rather it be kind of civil so I can get my point across and you can get your point across. And we can see who's right about these issues. Okay, that's what I'm interested in. It's easy.
Yeah, I'm sure. It is just assertions, though. It's, the Western powers control the Middle East, and Islam, we can't demonize it because it can be interpreted in many different ways.
Yeah.
Like, what even is the point of debating that? If we can't get on the same page that kill the infidel means kill the infidel, then what fucking good are you?
Well, and again, he constantly had to use weasel words even in the debate. He constantly had to say things like, if it can be interpreted other ways. It's like, yeah, but it's not being interpreted other ways. It's irrelevant to say it can be done if large percentages of that population are not doing so. It's insane. The amount of times that he had to use those kind of slick little slide words was like, holy fuck, dude. It's so irritating to debate a slime ball like that.
In a certain way, it probably has been.
Yeah, it's just, again, it's like Muslims using Sufis. Like, no, look at the Sufi teachings. You see, like, no. Sufis are a mystical form of Islam that actually doesn't really attach itself too well to the Quran. It's an absurd comparison. It truly is.
They're barely Muslim.
Yeah. Yeah, they're fucking mystics. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. All the mystics are better than the original religions. I'll take a mystic over a fundamentalist any day. Most mystics are just going, you'll never know anything. I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. I'm fine with that.
I'm fine with not knowing.
Yeah, Sufi, spin in circles until you get spin drunk, and that's like what you're allowed to do. Fine with that.
To sit there and just mock me when I'm not there. It's not so easy to do that when I'm here talking to you live. So let's see how you do.
We had no problem doing that to your face.
No, you just simply would say no. That's his whole debate tactic, is just that when you make a point, he just goes, that's not true, or he uses the weasel slide. There's no point of debating that. It's just at this point now we're just bapping you with a stick.
It's this absurd problem he's taking with the format of the show. Oh, you make fun of people while they're not there. Yes. And we watch videos from
as has a lot of programs since the world. What is it? America's Funniest Home Videos.
Yeah, that's who we need to be going after.
With that. Now I want to address some of the things that you guys were saying in your video. Okay. So you're kind of just
hold up, Nate. So we weren't just making fun of you. We actually made points. Okay, that's good to know.
Of course.
The idea that Sam Harris is really generalizing about Muslims, and he's saying that basically they're bad because most of them are bad. Okay, that's what that means.
It's the opposite.
No, it means that there are varying degrees of problems within the Muslim community.
He's laid out specific poll numbers on these issues. It is actually you, Nate, who is generalizing Muslims as all good. But when something that you perceive to be a generalization is negative, that's when you freak out. That's when, shit,
of course, unless he says all Republicans are racist. That's fine.
Oh, yeah, that's a problem. And because we took issue with that, with him, it wasn't even that. Like, I wouldn't even take issue with that, maybe. I could see, I've known many racist Republicans, but he said the Republican Party was racist. And we took issue with that, because that's an absurd statement. And because we said that, he thinks we're Republicans.
Yeah, I know. Because I'm getting tired of the bullshit politics, then yeah, I'm a Republican.
Oh, clearly.
But not all of them are bad, okay? Now, when you say most Muslims are bad, you're giving people the impression that their religion is a problem, that it's bad in and of itself.
Yes. Yeah. All Muslims hold bad ideas, especially if they believe in a sky daddy named Allah. There you go, 100%. If they are Muslims and they claim to believe in the sky daddy Allah, they have a bad idea. Right there. That's one bad idea. Check. One bad idea. You see how fast that this list can add up, though? Do you understand that all of this is on a varying degree of good and bad? And the first bad is believing in the sky daddy and then believing that Muhammad's the perfect version of a human? And you should emulate him. That's number 2. If they believe that, that's a problem. That's number 2. Do you see how the list can be formed, Nate?
The problem is, we'll make a statement like that. We were talking about this in our little off-air debate, but it's basically, we'll say, like, okay, what's your definition of a bad person? Like, because if we look at these polls, the majority of Muslims
Holy fuck. I'm sorry, but that's right, cuffed up. He does sound like Zorg from The Fifth Element, the guy that buys the guns. He sounds like the creepy villain. That's the trigger that this guy has. That's what it is that makes me fundamentally dislike him. That's it. You're right. Go on, Reese. I'm sorry.
That's pretty good call. No, we were saying that the majority of Muslims are homophobes.
Yeah.
But he'll just deny those stats.
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't fit in with his narrative. So at that point, yeah, what good is a debate if you can't even recognize the facts of reality?
Well, no, he has literally stated to our faces that the stats don't mean anything at all, that they're irrelevant.
Because I think his reasoning was because they're under oppressive governments to pressure them into saying those things.
Yeah, well, it's partly that, and it's partly that people will say anything on a poll. I mean, this is the reasoning we're dealing with. There's no arguing with that.
We might as well throw away all polls and all textbooks at this point.
Basically.
That's what you're leading people to believe. And when you say that, you're quoting these polls that Harris was talking about. Okay, you're flat out wrong about the polls, because first of all, in the majority of Islamic countries, the levels of people advocating extreme views.
Again, there we go. He's concerned about, like, fucking terrorism. He's concerned how many people should be allowed to blow themselves up. That's like level 5 concern for me, dude. That's like way down on the list. That's significantly further down on the list than the other things I'm concerned about.
A lot of people get a little... Terrorism is such a red herring. They get overly concerned about this. Like, the problem is just the ideas in general. I mean, these ideas are normalized and accepted and taught as moral and virtuous. Like, that's a bigger problem than terrorism could ever be. That allows this to continue.
Yeah, and Apollo in the chat, dear friend, you'll find out next video. I mentioned it earlier, but that's what that is in the corner under the desk. We'll see it next video, out in its full glory.
Yeah.
Was very small, okay, in the majority of those countries. There were some countries where there were, significant levels of extremism, that's true, but that doesn't mean that it's the majority, okay?
If Pakistan is the second most populous Muslim nation and has all of the most horrifying stats, should I ignore that?
Says something. Like, I think it was the poll in Egypt. Like 90% of people thought it was okay to kill apostates, or some crazy stat like that. That's not. Is that not extreme, Nate?
No. Killing apostates is understandable because, you see, in the teachings of Islam, the Muslims are all a nation, and if you leave a nation, it's usually considered, some form of traitor. You would be considered a turncoat of sorts. So that's all it is. It's no different than traitory laws, So it's no different than that.
I mean, you have to be... It's pretty much treason at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
Certain countries where there's a lot of people who think bad things, and you've got other countries, very populous Islamic countries, where the level of extremism is minuscule. You don't seem to be acknowledging that fact. I don't think you...
But he acts like I'm just like, well, yeah, because I said blow up all the Muslim countries, right? Like, I obviously said nuke and glass the Middle East. That's what I said.
We have never even advocated for violence or going to war or anything. We're just discussing ideas at this point.
He can't separate that, though. When I say all Muslims hold bad ideas, the look on his face is priceless. I mean, he physically flinches.
Yeah. I mean, you have to... That's part of getting past the regression. You have to be able to acknowledge not only that there are bad people, but that there can be that many bad people.
Yeah, well, like I discussed in the comments section of one of my own videos with a Catholic fan of mine, it's funny that I can say, haha, Catholic priests are pedophiles. Not one person jumps out of the woodworks. Not one. If I say something about Muslims, idiots like him jump out of the woodwork.
Yeah, not even the adherents to Catholicism get offended by that, but this guy who is not Muslim...
Do you know what the Catholic did? He made a painting candy on the side of his van joke. That was how he ended the conversation. He made a getting caught painting candy on the side of his van joke. Like an adult. Awesome. Like a goddamn adult. But instead, we have people like this that want to treat Muslims like special children. And I mean literally helmet-wearing special children.
Yes. You can't punch down, guys.
Which I can't really argue with, but,
You really understand the polls you're talking about. I've seen them. Okay. And, and also what I want to point out about these polls is, okay,
here we go.
The idea that some Muslims prefer Sharia law is given as some kind of horrible, horrible thing. But what you don't understand
here we go.
is Sharia law is not always draconian. There's lots of different interpretations.
You're right. In Saudi Arabia, when they catch you, what they do is they put you under anesthetic, like at the hospital, and then they just surgically remove your hand. They don't just lop it off. Although they still do take black bags and they put you in a black bag and they grab your hair and they twist your hair up in the top of the black bag and they lift you up by your hair while you're in the black bag. And the guy takes his right hand and cuts your head off with a saber in the street. That happens on a pretty regular basis in one of the most built-up Islamic nations in the world.
Well, you see, Hagbard, I mean...
That happens on highways, like 6 or 7 lane highways, like, you know, DC level highways. People just get their fucking heads chopped off. That happens.
Very modern. You see, if they surgically remove the hands, I mean, that can't really be draconian. That's pretty modern, pretty 21st century, if you ask me. I can get behind that.
So it's not always about chopping things off. Okay. That's possible that people could interpret it that way, but it's...
Even he has to admit it. He has to admit that people will interpret it that way.
Who would have thought?
But because not 100%... Yes, but because not 100% of Muslims will do it, thus I shouldn't talk about Islam as a whole and its tendencies to do that.
I mean, like, it's amazing to me because he can't even get past the first hurdle, which is to acknowledge, okay, Islam is immoral. Like, I would be able to say that about most religions. Now, to the degree which people practice them, that's a different story. But we can't even get past that first conversation. To him, he just wants to bullshit around with, oh, there's many interpretations and schools of thought. That's garbage.
Seriously. It really is. But that's how his sad little brain works.
not necessary. So don't think that just because somebody says that they like Sharia law, you can just dismiss them as a savage. That won't work. Okay, because you don't know what they're talking about.
I don't. Okay, and that's a straw man already.
Yeah,
he likes to use the word savage. I would dismiss them as a theocrat.
Yeah, but this is literally what he immediately, as soon as you say something like, you know, look, the majority of Muslims have some really bad ideas. Yeah, because they're savages, right? Because they're savages. That's what you think. You think all, you know what? No, and then he'll take the next leap and say they're savages because they're Arab, right? That's what you really mean. It's because they're brown. They're brown people. That's why they're savages. Holy fuck, dude. You need help.
Like, if you can't acknowledge that advocating for theocracy is a bad thing and that I should be able to dismiss attempts at theocracy, like, what the fuck are you? Are you secular? What? I don't even know at this point.
No, he liked Turkey. He should probably go back.
Yeah. Turkey's a moderate country, I forgot.
In general, with these polls, you don't know those people or what they're talking about, what their situation is. You can't pass judgment on them that easily.
You don't.
Oh,
yeah,
fantastic.
Someone's situation really justifies their support for Sharia law.
Again, we pointed out the Christians in all these regions that weren't committing acts of terror or any sorts of, you know, oppressive activities, and then we pointed out the entirety of South America.
Yes.
There you go.
Which have, I mean, a lot of those are third world countries.
Yeah. Not a whole lot of suicide bombings.
When I brought up Christian Palestinians, he took the opportunity to go on his anti-Israel rant.
Yes, that was beautiful. Oh God,
dear,
yes.
Jesus.
And he sent me a video, and I would, honestly, I'll send it to anyone who wants to see it. If you put it into an editing software, you turn the contrast up, you can clearly see that he pulls the knife that they're accusing him of having, like, planted on the girl from the girl's backpack. It's just that it's shot on a fuzzy camera in a shadow. But if you crank the contrast up, you can clearly see he ducks his right shoulder down into a backpack and pulls out a knife that's in a sheath, unwraps the knife from a cloth, and then drops it on the ground in front of him. But, you know, he sees that the only websites that video appears on are anti-Israeli, Palestinian-run websites. No, and then
completely reliable propaganda.
Yeah, exactly. And he constantly sent me several pieces of just raw propaganda. Just clearly raw propaganda. I'm like, what the fuck?
He really wanted us to buy into that. I didn't even bother watching it. I've seen that kind of shit before.
Okay. So, when you say, yeah, the majority of people answered the wrong way on these polls, which is false, So that means that the majority of Muslims are bad people.
Which is false, which is true.
Okay. Let's do a thought experiment. Let's see if you guys are hypocrites. Now, they've done polls in Israel.
Oh, this is the other piece of propaganda he sent me that I can debunk in a heartbeat. So let's just hear this.
Here we go.
About what they want to do with Palestinians. There were a lot of people in Israel who answered, you know, they hate Palestinians. They want to see Palestinians ethnically cleansed.
That is not even remotely what the poll said, but go on.
Every single
That
Palestinian be
explains all the humanitarian aid to Palestine from Israel.
Yeah.
shipped out of the country or killed.
No, you see, it's the killed part that he's inflating here. The poll that was run that 46% of ethnic Jews living in Israel answered affirmative to was, should people that consider themselves nationally and ethnically Palestinian be deported from Israel due to the safety concerns? And 46% of them said yes. Not one person in that poll ever said, kill the Palestinians, or I particularly hate Palestinians. It is the fact that Palestinian people are stabbing old Jews in the street. And eventually the people are going to go, I'm kind of getting tired of this.
But you see, if you're the one who wants to take that drastic action, get out of my country, you're the bad guy. Even though you are the victim.
Yeah.
Amazing.
A lot of Israelis feel that way. In fact, the vast majority of Israelis these days are right-wing extremists of one sort or another. Now, are Jews bad?
Again, did you hear that? That's it. It's over. Right there. That's the end of his line of reasoning. He can just say that. Most Jews are right-wing extremists, full stop, thus they are bad. End of thought. That's the end of his line of reasoning. He doesn't have to. He doesn't need to. He can just say that they're right-wing extremists and be correct. Because he is who he is. No, he doesn't need... Remember, we say extremists, we're evil. He says extremists, he's just speaking truth.
Oh, I forgot. I mean, what the fuck does that mean? Does that mean their lives were counterfeit? Does that, or forfeit, rather? I just... Is that really the implication of what's going on? Because that's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Bad people? Are you going to sit there and tell me the same thing you just said about Muslims? The majority of them answered the wrong way on polls. Ipso facto, Muslims are bad people. But not all of them.
But again, he's the one who's conflating they answered wrong on the polls.
I take this beyond the poll. The polls are just a representation. These are actual ideas that these people have. So try to word it in a not so disingenuous way. But he's about to get at, because he has offered proof that Jews answered bad on polls, that we should hate Jews.
Exactly.
And we would be anti-Semitic or something.
Exactly.
Say the same thing about Jews, you hypocrites. I dare you. Okay. I don't think you will.
If Jews,
and I wouldn't either. I wouldn't sit here and tell you
on those polls. If they answered, I don't know, like killing apostates, it's not the same kind of thing. I would equally condemn them. I mean, we condemn Orthodox Jews.
Yeah.
The difference here, which is a major difference, is you're talking about an ethnic group, and we're talking about a religious ideology.
Mm-hmm. Which he conflates with an ethnic group. He presumes all Muslims are related, in spite of the fact that they're not even remotely.
They span the globe. They're all races. What ridiculous bullshit.
Oh wow, yeah. Let's talk about that for just a second. Now that Claire's brought it up, yeah. Let's have Turkey join the EU. It's a great idea, guys. Good idea. Fantastic.
Let's just dissolve the EU completely. It's fucking garbage.
Let's just be smart and blow the fucking the tunnel between the UK and France for safety reasons, because Europe's pretty much done.
Yeah.
that Jews are bad people because they answered the wrong way on polls. Even those people who answered the wrong way, I don't know them. Okay, I don't know their circumstances.
I give a fuck about their circumstances.
No, I do. They're living in areas where they're seeing people get stabbed and shot on a fairly regular basis, and all the people doing the stabbing or getting shot trying to do the stabbing are Palestinians. So they say, yeah, maybe they just shouldn't live here. I mean, we built the wall for a reason.
I'm not going to dismiss them as human beings just because at a certain point in time they held bad views. Okay.
Oh my god. So he thinks we're saying that they're not human beings if they answered bad on polls?
Yes, that's what we're saying, clearly. And we're saying that they should be gassed. That's his other point. As soon as I say that I think that they hold poor views and I don't want to live among them, he's saying I think that they deserve to be gassed.
Everybody makes mistakes. That doesn't mean...
Yes, Anders, I brought that up directly to him in our debate. If Israel wanted there to not be a Palestine, in 3 days there wouldn't be a Palestine. That would be all.
It's a pretty shitty genocide.
It would be all. That would be goodbye. Gone. There just wouldn't be Palestine anymore. It'd just be Israel. Ta-da. Israel, Egypt. Bing. Done.
That they're bad, and it's because they're Jews. And that's what you're telling me about Muslims.
I mean, if they're religious Jews, I think that that's enough to say, okay, you're a little backwards.
Yeah, you have bad ideas.
I condemn you.
Yeah, although, you know, most of the Jewish comedians I've seen don't really condemn women or don't eat pork or don't drink or any of the other things you're supposed to do as a Jew, but, you know, those people are fine, just like Americanized Muslims. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a shit what your religion is. I give a shit how you apply it. It's the only thing I care about. Everything else is well secondary.
They're bad because they're Muslims, because this one poll looks bad.
One poll. One poll. Not a poll that's been run every, 5 years for several decades. One poll.
You know, there's the Gallup poll and the Pew poll and a couple others. I mean, these are extremely reliable.
Mm-hmm.
Even though if you actually pay attention and read the poll, it don't.
It don't.
Sam Harris just bamboozled you with that. Okay?
Bamboozled.
A white boy done been bamboozled by Sam Harris.
Alright, we've given him 7 minutes on this one. Let's see
you
part
wanna go
2.
to the other one?
Yeah, let's go ahead and see part 2. We've wasted enough time on the original.
I haven't even seen this one.
Mind
so
you, this is the first Spurge. This is the first time that he answered after our fucking failed recording of our debate. This was him spurging out over that. Now, he's been in comment sections. I've been in his comment section. He's left me just pages of diatribes. Pages.
Yeah, and then I uploaded an update video about how the debate failed, the recording on my end. That's completely my bad. But he did feel the need to go out of his way and make 2 videos.
Yes, he made 2 videos. That was one.
He's like Pacific.
Yeah, now here's part 2. First, let's just, there we go.
Hi everybody, it is Tuesday, June 7th.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, do you see what was under the desk? Do you see that wire? That wire goes to the inflator.
Too.
There's your little TV tray. He clearly, literally woke up and was furious, because look at the lighting difference. It's still like either early morning or late at night, or it's some dark hour, and his computer screen is brighter than the rest of the room.
Oh my god, he really does just live in this room. He sits in that sad chair and eats on his TV tray in front of the TV, in front of the Turkish flag, after he gets up from his air mattress. Holy shit.
I told you.
We can't tag Bard, we're done. We can't make fun of this guy. Come on.
That's how I felt about part 2, which is why I kept just trying to ignore him. Because it was like, dude, I don't even want to fuck with you anymore. I'm depressed. You're like clearly a 50-year-old man that's on an air mattress. I'm not happy anymore. You've made me very sad now.
Yeah, no, like out of all of our nemesis that I feel bad for, like I feel worse for this guy than Kill the Fear.
Oh, for sure. I feel worse for this guy than I do for Lexwell. Lexwell seems to at least have his shit together.
Yeah, Lexwell has a family and has a sense of humor.
I mean, really. But I mean, real quick, we'll be gentle, but let's just present this to our audience.
Yes. Here we go, child. We're going to do this.
2016. This is the day of the California primary. So everybody go out there and vote for Bernie if you're a true progressive. And
I like it. It's like a purity
that
test.
brings me to another subject. You know, I find it kind of funny.
How do we get back here? You could just be making a video about anything else in the world. You know that, right?
Wait, so bringing up Bernie Sanders in the California primary reminded him of us. Interesting.
That some people call themselves liberals, not progressives, but liberals, who despise feminism. They
Now this is literally, he's going to go through, he clearly trolled our Twitter feeds, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is him not understanding what's been going on in the past, 2 decades or so. He clearly hasn't been paying attention. So,
because like I even clarified this to him on Twitter. Yeah, we just have a problem with modern feminism. Really, it's
not like I have a problem with anything else.
It's these people in wolves and sheep's skin pretending to be liberal.
Yeah, this is good.
despise Muslims, all Muslims.
Not even remotely what was said, but go ahead.
They despise religious people in general and consider them to be inferior. They despise other cultures and consider them to be inferior. They post
only one in particular, really.
Yeah, like I said, 10 million Chinese will have a discussion, but I mean this isn't a xenophobia issue. It really isn't. Like I said, give me the entire landmass of Japan. We'll have a discussion. Not a problem.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but we're talking about a people with a very specific and strict ideology. It's a little different.
This is more of that cowardice and fear. You think religious people are inferior? Yes. Now stomach what I just said. I said that people who believe in this magic sky man are intellectually inferior to me. This is something that you have to be willing to stand by, because people like this are just doused in cowardice about it.
Yeah, they really can't take it.
memes about bombing civilians and laugh and chuckle about it.
What?
You know, a meme where they show people at the Hajj.
Yeah, that's my Twitter feed. He's pissed off. I retweeted someone with a Pepe avatar. If you don't understand what's happening there, that's entirely because you're an old man. Yes, there's a meme going around that was to celebrate Ramadan that was joking on the Ramadan hashtag. And it was a picture of people circling the Hamas and then a picture of a crater. And it said problem solved. Yes, that is 100% true.
That is a joke.
Yes. Although I would argue that if we could manage to clear the Hajj and then bomb the actual stone they worship, it wouldn't hurt. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying it wouldn't hurt.
I'm in favor of that.
You know, and dressed in simple sackcloth, walking around with other believers, and then another picture of a giant crater.
See?
Saying, here's the solution to the problem. Liberals. These people refer to other people, other religious groups as cancer. And then they mock and scoff when you point out that's the talk that they used before every genocide. Historically, they're too ignorant to understand that, so you bring it up and they just laugh at you.
You're garbage.
So when Milo says feminism is cancer, he's going to genocide all the feminists, right?
Clearly.
It isn't just a cultural meme that's been going around for about 2 years, right? No, not at all.
Nate, we haven't even advocated for another war or anything. Like, genocide? We're really jumping to that?
Yeah, oh yeah, he believes that we advocate for genocide.
What fucking
Yeah, he
garbage.
talks about it all the time. He said it several times. This is one of the reasons I ended up shouting at him. Because he says things like, oh yeah, because they're savages, constantly like that, or constantly fucking hammering me with this shit. It gets obnoxious after quite a short period of time.
We're manning the gas chambers now.
Exactly.
Liberals who hate feminists.
Yes?
Threatening you with violence if you disagree with them, and calling you gay, calling you a woman, calling women names.
Actually, you know, I can't speak for all the flying monkeys. Oh my. Oh my. That's worth playing again. Holy
You
shit.
have to. I'm sorry. Oh, fuck. I broke myself. That hurt. Oh, let's hear this again.
Liberals who hate feminists. Threatening you with violence if you disagree with them, and
Never happened.
calling you gay,
That probably did happen.
calling you a woman,
Uh-huh.
calling women names.
Calling them women's names.
Don't be mean to my women's. I can't speak for all
Oh,
the flying monkeys
shit.
who completely trashed this guy on Twitter, but I mean,
No.
we didn't do that. So.
No, and ironically, what's funny is probably someone he saw calling women names was statistically a woman if they were in my feed. It was
Yes.
like Skepo or Mask Society or it was someone like that.
Oh yeah, he can't handle that. I mean, he made sure to block all the ex-Muslims too. 'Cause that's
Oh, I think I
that's
pulled a
no
muscle there.
campaign.
Jesus.
Liberals. Now, the people I'm talking about in particular are those people at the Nightmare Fuel podcast. You know, this podcast.
See, we're in his head. We live in his head now. We literally have like bought land and we're setting up shop in his brain.
and rent.
We have purchased space. He's paying us rent for us to live in his brain.
So okay, so he is talking about us. Okay, we didn't threaten violence against you. We didn't call you gay or a woman. Actually, address what we called you. We did call you some names, but not those.
No, I called him a faggot.
Okay,
I for
fine.
sure called him a faggot, and then he's called me a homophobe, and then I laughed in his face because I think that's
that
hilarious.
Is a perfect representation of everything wrong with this guy.
Yeah, that's why I laughed my ass off. It was too funny.
Where I guess it's on YouTube. They have this Twitter channel that looks like the contents of a mass grave. I kid you not. Just full of skeletons. And
What? I don't even know what he's talking about.
Is he talking about my fucking cover picture?
I think
Which
he's confused what's going on here. You have a cover picture that's Nightmare Fuel. It's a fucking tag, dude. What is he even talking about?
It looks like because I have a skeleton icon. Am I like evil or some shit? Holy shit, dude.
What a weird little faggot.
Oh, homophobe.
they never show their face. They're always just a picture of a skeleton. And there's another guy on there who's just a picture of some guy, you know, drawn. But he never shows his face
Drawn.
either.
I've shown my face. And
Yeah,
Reese
we
used to
both
show
got
his
our
face all the
faces,
time.
bitch.
We just don't feel like doing it on a regular basis because it's obnoxious.
I mean, there's no need to do it here because we're not even using Skype, so I couldn't even put my face on screen
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah, you're a funny guy. He really was talking about you having a skeleton avatar. This is... I was gonna walk away, man, because I thought this was gonna be too sad, but you're just so fucking cringe. I can't. It's like watching a train wreck in slow
It's
motion.
embarrassing.
It's like being able to watch a
oh.
train wreck frame by frame to the point where you can see each individual passenger getting thrown and how they die. This is... You just can't stop. You can't look away. This deserves
So
to be
sadistic.
seen.
Yeah, it's like there's some of these people online who just don't understand anything. Like, oh my god, why is your profile picture a skeleton in a suit? Like, that doesn't make sense. Are you dead? Do you wear suits often? Why is your show called Nightmare Fuel? Nightmare. That sounds pretty bad. Like,
That's pretty
holy
rough, dude.
shit,
You're gonna be
dude.
nightmare fuel? That's fucked up.
Dude, like, step back. Like that. No, those questions have no answers to them.
Yeah, take a breather.
And some girl that never shows her face, but
Oh,
just
well, at least you realized it was a girl.
has a picture of a mean-looking robot.
There you go, Masked. There you go. You got a little call
A
out.
mean-looking robot.
Mean-looking robot. Awesome.
And she hates feminism too, by the way. And every other woman I saw on there hated feminism.
He's just shocked. He cannot handle this fact. He's just taken aback.
He can't criticize because then he's punching down, you see.
Yeah. Yeah, Sargon's an ancient conqueror, Bering's a bear, Undoom's a thing. I mean, what do you... This is what happens online, idiot.
Who cares what our profile pics are or what we name our shit?
Oh, fantastic. This is too good. I wish I had a camera on right now. I'd have to plug it in and install it again because it fucking crashed my hard drive. But
I mean, I'm
if you could see my face right now, I literally
This is so
can't
funny.
hold my fucking cheeks down. I'm physically trying not to grin, but I cannot do it. I cannot stop.
And came on to just spew the most ridiculously filthy garbage and hateful nonsense at me. And just, meme after meme of Muslims, polls where Muslims
Yeah.
say the bad things supposedly, and then, pictures of Muhammad talking about.
Is he actually a man-child?
Yes. I mean, look at this setup.
I mean,
This
did he
is the
get
setup
bopped
of
on the
man.
fucking head when he was, like, young? When he was over in Islamabad, did he get kicked in the head a couple times, and this is the result?
That's how they make Muslim apologists.
Yeah, I wanted to joke about that, Hazim. I'm like, yeah, the one guy we've left as moderator of our podcast is an Arab. Yeah, we're totally racist. We're
racist,
absolutely
right-wing
bigots.
Islamophobes.
Yeah, fucking nutball.
How he raped children and
Well, he
you know,
did.
all this just nasty, just vile hate.
Are you seriously fucking denying that
Hate
Muhammad
truth.
was a pedophile?
It's hate truth.
What? I'm sorry if there are some facts that you don't like. You can't just ignore them.
And these are liberals, okay, at the Nightmare Fuel podcast. Now,
Yes, it is illiberal to want to impose theocratic rule anywhere I intend to live. I have no way of... I'm not putting up with that.
Hey Nate, you should take a look at some of the comments we got from the Gavin McInnes fans. I think they can attest that we're pretty liberal.
I stumbled onto their video the other day where they're just kind of chuckling and mocking my video.
How many views on that video do you think are his?
Holy shit! You know what? That episode has an abnormal amount of views.
Do you think he
compared
sat
to
around
other
and watched it a
episodes.
few times?
That episode has like 500 views, and usually on an episode we'll get like 250.
Do you think he sent his people over to it?
I would not be surprised. His people. Who the fuck is watching him?
He gets about 500 views. I'll give him that.
That's scary. Who are these people?
Other lonely lunatics.
talking about
gross.
Sam Harris and just dismissing everything I say out of ignorance because they just don't have a
Ignorance.
clue. And so, yeah, of course, Sam Harris is clear about his views. He never prevaricates or makes excuses or changes his views.
No.
That's not even remotely what we said.
Make excuses. Later on will clarify for people who are too dumb to get it the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got angry, of course. I put up a video challenging them to a debate, or I made a video challenging them to a debate, but it didn't go up. And in the meantime, I was talking to them, and they actually agreed to debate me, so I didn't put the video up. I just let it go. And I had my debate with them. And again, they never showed their faces. It's me and these two guys.
I was on my fucking cell phone, dude. Like, seriously, I was on my cell phone.
We didn't ask him to show his face.
No, as a matter of fact, did you consider that part of the reason why the audio didn't capture is you were chewing bandwidth down by presenting your video when you didn't need to?
Oh, shit.
That's why you cut it, like, sometimes.
Yeah, that did happen.
And You know, at that point, from their behavior, I started to suspect I was talking to tweens. You know, people that are like 10, 12.
Yeah, this is his thing. He started calling me a middle schooler, which is, I've been just poking him and poking him
Tweens?
and poking him.
Who the fuck says that anymore?
Because he's an easily triggered little fag. So it's kind of fun to poke him. But, I mean, like I said, after I saw this video, I was like, Jesus Christ, look at this guy's life. Like, I mean, I don't live well. Please, I hope I've not deceived anyone into thinking I'm rich. I'm not a wealthy man by any stretch of the imagination. But this is rough.
Oh yeah, this is.
I don't have a big bed, but my bed can't deflate.
No, we're just tweens.
In that range. That's just what I started thinking, just based on their behavior. Now, I don't know that for sure. I don't know their chronological age. But I can tell you their emotional and maturity and intellectual level was about at junior high. So that's what I started telling them, and nobody ever disputed it.
We just stopped talking to you, dude.
Fuck.
Oh, yeah. This coming from the guy who just goes on inane rants and just has emotional outbursts. Yeah, I'm really gonna take this seriously.
Oh my God. They never debated it, so I'm assuming they're teenagers. I'm gonna try and bait them with high school tactics because I'm more mature than they are.
Oh, what a sad man.
I just told them, all you're junior high kids, aren't you? And they never said anything back. So maybe they are, I don't know. But, so these guys...
Actively retarded. Alright, that's enough.
Oh my God.
That's enough for you, bud. You've chewed up enough of our show.
Yeah, no. That is something else. Jesus Christ. Alright, feel free to respond, Nate, I guess, if you want. Okay. We're just going to do the next one over. We're going to do Ramadan 2016, David Cameron's message.
Sick.
It's the holy month of Ramadan. A time
Indeed.
when mosques open
good sir.
Quite.
Oh God. That hairline.
Yes, that is the highest hairline a human being has ever
It looks like a
sustained.
wig.
their doors, community centres welcome in their neighbours, and even churches and synagogues offer up their spaces, as Muslims break their fasts, and people of all faiths and none are often asked to join.
Yeah, which is why you shouldn't. You know that, right? Like, you understand that you couldn't go to a mosque and do the same thing that they're saying they want to do in churches and synagogues, right? You realize this is all a setup, huh?
It's a very obvious marketing ploy.
Coventry Cathedral is holding its own multi-faith iftar. In Manchester, they're combining an iftar with England's European Championships appearance. And home...
So what you mean is they're infesting absolutely everything.
That just sounds scary. You know what? There's no difference between the religions. Let's just intertwine them. Let's all just
Well,
be
and let's
faithful.
put this religious event alongside also a sports event. That's good.
Oh, that sounds good. I mean, come on. After all, guys, we're all the children of God. We might as well just get together.
shelters up and down the country are holding iftars with the homeless. Of course, fasting is what comes to mind when we think of Ramadan. It's part of the month that really puts Muslims' faith to the test,
Especially in the third world nations, where part of Ramadan is that you can't drink in public, and since Ramadan occurs in summer, they die.
This sounds completely genius.
They die a lot. They did it in Pakistan, they did it in India, they did it in Malaysia. Eventually, they had to pass a new rule that said, fine, you can drink in public if you're going to die. Just this year, you can drink in public if you're going to die. I kind of wish they hadn't. It would have cut down on a lot of the fucking population, but...
Yeah, the gene pool would have been spared.
Clean that shit right
that's
up.
just the perfect. Religion is just the retardation of humanity at that point.
especially during these long, warm days. But there's much more to it. There is all the energy and money people donate to those who are less fortunate, and all the extra time spent in prayer and contemplation.
He says all that like it's a good thing. Only one of those could even possibly be construed as a good thing, and that's the charity. All the rest of that is literally just say, and then they spend a lot of time bending down and staring at the floor.
A very productive spending of one's time.
Yes. All of humanity has been leading to this peak.
Uppermost in all our minds this Ramadan are those whose lives have been torn apart by the twin evils of Assad and Daesh. All those families spending this holy month in refugee camps, mourning loved ones,
Nope.
yearning to go back to school or to work, wondering whether they'll ever return home again.
Wanting to make sandwiches.
Oh God, what is... He's gonna ask for money. This is an ad, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is a goddamn ad.
You need to support the refugees. I mean, after all, they're the ones who are being terrorized, but by the twin evils of Assad and Daesh.
This literally sounds like he's gonna start walking and the screen's gonna shift and they're gonna be walking through like a refugee camp where flies are landing on little kids' faces.
Oh God.
Thoughts, whatever our backgrounds or beliefs, are with them. And we must continue to support the people of Syria and the region as we work towards a lasting political solution. Because that's who we are as a country. We won't walk on by. So this Ramadan, let's renew our resolve to help those victims.
That's who we are as a
Let's
country.
continue to...
Let's go give to others at the expense of ourselves. Let's just throw our all into this, and I don't care what negative cultural ramifications there are for the UK. Fuck the UK. Let's help these people.
Yeah, exactly. Let's just crash our own country. That's fine.
You know, sometimes I like David Cameron. Sometimes he'll say stuff about this issue, about Islamism, that is on point. But Jesus, what a retard. No. Not good.
come together for iftars and community events. Let's celebrate the proud, multiracial, multi-faith democracy we live in. To everyone in Britain and around the world, Ramadan Mubarak.
He literally looks like there's someone off camera with a gun.
This ad made a gunpoint.
Seriously, that's what it looks like.
What an idiot. Yeah, let's just celebrate. You know, we have a multi-faith, multicultural thing going on here.
There is no such thing as multicultural. That is a lie.
It's a lie, I tell you. All right. I guess we might as well do it. We're gonna start getting into the Reason Rally stuff, and we're just gonna run through these. I clipped these. I want people to understand
right now
what I went through, because I had to watch a 6-hour stream of the Reason Rally. This was not fun.
Yeah, no.
This was painful. Now, luckily for me, they fucked up, and I got to skip an hour because the sound went out.
Sweet.
And they cut out half of Lawrence Krauss's speech, very professional. But yeah, this first one especially was one of the opening things at the Reason Rally, and it is a poem about slavery. I'm not even...
to bring back
Oh god, it's so quiet.
Turn that shit up.
a performer from the original Reason Rally in 2012. He is part of a group of artists called Mad Art Lab, where art meets science and skepticism. So I love him.
This is gonna hurt.
Oh, this is really bad.
Yeah.
Poet, performer, brilliant man.
Oh, how original. The God Bless America shirt. Yes, congratulations.
Filthy pants. Victor Harris, ladies and gentlemen. Victor Harris.
Amazing.
Good morning, DC.
Oh god, look, there's like no one fucking there. Look at this.
I've had free concerts in my town have bigger turnouts than this.
Me too.
Seriously, and neither one of us live in a big area.
No.
My name is Victor Harris.
Hi, Victor.
I do have an album for sale. It's
No
called
one
The
wants
Reason
it.
I Trust. It can be found on iTunes. I also have some drop cards with me.
No one wants this.
Oh, Jesus.
The name of this poem is Say Anything.
Not one person wants this.
It distresses me how tenaciously my people hold on to Jesus when God
Jesus, Jehovah, and Allah never fell from the lips of our ancestors as they were trapped in the bellies of boats, bringing them across the Atlantic, raping them of the only home they ever knew.
Oh, the sunglasses on the back. Fuck off, you hipster.
Douchebag.
God, it makes me just want to punch the sunglasses.
Listen to this hyperbolic bullshit.
Yeah, of course.
Wow.
No, I want to rewrite this with insert. I wish your people would let go of slavery. I mean, it's the same goddamn thing. Get over it.
Yeah, for real. Like they're like, listen to this. He's like, while they were in the belly of boats, raped of their homeland. Oh shit.
Yeah,
dude.
Same gods enabled our enslavers to see us as nothing but chattel, below human beings, because their holy books, falsely attributed to the hands of gods, were written by feeble-minded men who never walked more than 100 miles outside of their villages.
So you've never read the Bible's passages on slavery. At least I'll properly represent the Bible when I'm discussing it. Yes, it does say that slavery is a good thing and necessary, and it says slavery is something that the master should be very careful in, and the slave should be very obedient in. It doesn't say the same kind of things like you see in some of the other texts.
This is the important aspect for people like this to understand. The Bible was not written for white people, and it did not specify that black people were to be enslaved. So you can make excuses for slavery if you're a Christian, sure, and they did, but it's not giving. You can't fully blame it on that. There were other factors that went into this.
Men who had no knowledge of distant lands containing people who did not resemble them. Distant lands containing people who resemble me.
Vaguely.
My ancestors were victims of a misunderstanding. Victims of an arrogance that allowed men to lack even the will to hate those they enslaved, because hate is something reserved for equals, and their gods gave them domain over land and animals. So if my ancestors were...
This narrative actually really bothers me. If you read what slave owners wrote in the Times, they actually felt great deals of responsibility to educate these slaves to be good Christians so that their souls could go to heaven and to not mistreat them greatly. Of course, there are shit people. But the vast majority of them, because they learned this from the Bible, were not to mistreat their slaves.
Hagbard, it sounds like you're making excuses for slavery, son. Are you a slave owner? Plantation owner, Hagbard?
Fucking plantation owner, motherfucker.
Only ever seen as the animals in these men's eyes, then why would they waste energy hating me and my kind? My ancestors prayed to different gods who, as far as I can tell, never lifted a finger to help them. Who, as far as they could tell, never lifted a finger to help them. So it only figures that they would adopt the god of their enslavers. Who, as far as I can tell, has never lifted a finger to help.
How about this? How about don't wait for God to help you. Help yourself. Help yourself.
Yeah.
Advance your culture and civilization by yourself.
Not gonna happen.
Quit waiting on a non-existent God to do that.
Help us. Has never attempted to dissuade its followers from practicing in human trafficking. In fact, a careful reading of Leviticus chapter 25 verse 44 to 46 instructs the chosen ones to buy bondsmen and bondsmaids from neighboring nations. Tells them that the offspring of these purchased people should be passed down in perpetuity, but that they should not rule over their brethren in the same manner. Well,
yes, every group has called for that, wherein you don't traditionally enslave other Greeks, you could gladly enslave people from other nations around the Greek islands. That's pretty standard. This is just how tribes are run.
I can't believe you felt the need to say that.
Yeah, pretty standard.
Well-mannered men and cultured women would attend slave auctions on sunny Sunday afternoons fresh from church because
education from movies.
These were social events. Watching men, women, and children sold to the highest bidder.
I just wanted to comment on how enraptured the audience is.
Yeah, oh, of course. But notice it's like 99.97% white.
Oh yeah, the social justice measures have really promoted a lot of diversity here.
Mm-hmm.
Bitter feelings formed deep in the bellies of black men and black women as they watched their families powerless to rebel, compelled by Sunday's sermon to honor their enslavers. Today's reading comes from the book of Colossians, chapter 3, verse 22, which tells you to honor those who are your earthly masters with singleness of heart, fearing the Lord.
You know, this is a bigger issue I have with these people. Like, this isn't poetry. There's no art to it or craft. This is just rambling bullshit.
Yeah, pretty much any third grader could have written this.
We might as well just burn poetry at this point. Like, it doesn't even mean anything. Anyone can be a poet, in quotes.
No, there's no imagery, there's no stylization, there's no structural integrity here. It's just a guy rambling.
Ugh.
That's all this is.
Proselytizing, let's be frank.
How much longer is this? Fuck off. You do not get 2 more minutes of my life.
You know,
Goodbye.
it went on for 5 minutes. And we're going to get to other Reason Rally stuff.
Ooh.
Let's just do the next one.
Shockingly racist.
You guys enjoying the election season?
Oh god, this guy follows me on Twitter.
Gross.
Holy shit, right? Trump! Wow! That guy's amazing. The conservatives just fully jumped the shark on that one. They're like, let's do it. We have the smart black guy. We can get away with fucking anything now.
Jesus.
Wow. What do you think of that, Hagbard?
Fantastic.
Oh, that guy's such an awkward fuck.
Yeah, he really is, and he has several moments in that it's like, oh, you poor fucker.
Yeah. Oh god, we're just gonna keep going down the line. Let's do that.
Reason
Yeah, let's do that
Rally.
one.
So what does a secular America look like? And let me hear from you if you agree with this.
Oh god.
In a secular America, the way our founders imagined, a same-sex couple doesn't have to endure the humiliation of being denied service at a restaurant because of who they are and who they love.
When did that happen?
Yeah, that's exactly what the founders intended. Wow.
In a secular America, a woman's right to choose is absolute and is a conversation between only her and her doctor.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah, I'm glad that they didn't enact it until like the 60s and 1960s.
Well, and I'm really glad that you've completely cut the father out of that picture. That's lovely.
Oh, of course. That always happens. Come on.
That's very nice for you just to come out and admit the fact that you're literally just a cuckold. That's fantastic.
If we have any fathers watching, fuck you.
Yeah,
You don't have
fucked
no
up.
rights.
Fucking ridiculous.
In a secular America, no one can be banned from the United States just because they are Muslim.
But that
Oh,
doesn't
shit.
that doesn't actually add up, but okay. Considering we had our founding fathers who founded the secular nation, which is what you're referring to here. Yeah, they actually banned people from several nations and several other religious beliefs for just that reason.
They also were not fond of Muslims.
Yeah.
In a secular America, openly atheist candidates can run for office and win based on their qualifications and their ability to serve the people that elect them, and not because they believe in a God.
Well, unfortunately, you standing up here and acting like a jackass isn't helping that cause.
Yeah, you guys are not exactly proponents for that progress at this point. It's quite embarrassing to be associated with this.
Yeah, it really is.
In a secular America, your right to die with dignity and without pain won't be undermined by your neighbor's religion. In a secular America, public schools don't teach the Christian Bible. They teach evidence-based science.
Where do they do that? Please tell me that's not still happening.
I'm sure you could find some like shithole in Louisiana, but I mean, like, really.
Philosophy and history. In a secular America, science, reason, and the overwhelming evidence that our planet is warming and our climate is changing won't be brushed aside as a hoax by a senator carrying a snowball into a chamber of that building up there.
This is just depressing.
He's gone out of his way. And look, the thing is, like, I can agree with a lot of that, but he's presenting it in just such a terrible way.
Yeah, this is just all cringe. This is so hard to watch. I'm so glad I didn't go to this.
Yeah, for real.
In a secular America, the words "in God we trust" don't adorn the halls of our Congress, the walls of our courtrooms, or the money that we all work so hard for.
You know, here's the thing. There are issues of religion in the world. I am a hardened anti-theist, and I could not give a shit less about what's on my money. Like,
No.
really. Like, it's not... This is so far down the list of issues I could possibly care about.
Seriously.
It's amazing. Like, you would... If you went to the Reason Rally, and this was the only narrative you're being given, you would think that that was one of the biggest religious issues in the world. It is such blind bullshit to what is actually happening. And we're going to get to that later in some of the other Reason Rally things, but like really think about that. They are really trying to sell that is the issue of our time. Fucking ridiculous.
It is the issue of our time, Reese.
What? No. Fuck that. Garbage. Fuck that garbage.
And in a secular America, Christians, Jews, Muslims, Hindus, atheists, humanists, Baha'i, Wiccans, Buddhists, all of us live our lives according to our personal worldviews.
He's like trying to co-opt the lesser religions. That's pretty funny.
I don't want people
And
living
for the
according to
record,
their
I
worldviews.
absolutely don't want the Baha'i. Thank you, though. I appreciate the offer, but they can stay out.
Some people have fucked up worldviews. They can live by a sane, humane, secular worldview if they're going to live here.
Mm-hmm.
That is what true religious freedom looks like.
I like throwing that in. It just feels appropriate.
It's hilarious.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, we've been putting it off. Maryam Namazi. Shit.
Just last Thursday, the Iranian regime flogged 35 boys and girls for participating in a mixed gender graduation party. They received 99 lashes each.
Oh boy, here we go. This is the
How
other
is
problem.
this my
So
problem?
Either... Sorry, go ahead.
How is this my problem?
Exactly. So either at the Reason Rally, they will inflate the issue of "in God we trust" on our money and issues like that, or this is the only perspective we're going to get on the Islam issue from Maryam Namazi, who is a notorious Islam apologist.
This is gonna hurt.
Yes.
If everyone agreed with them, they would not need to terrorize populations through indiscriminate violence. There would
Holy
not
shit.
be mass migration from countries that
What?
Yeah,
that
no one agrees. There's no supporters of this. It's ISIS versus everyone else.
What the fuck?
rule. Let's not forget that Islamism has been built on a slaughtered generations of the Middle East, North Africa, and South Asia, often with U.S. government complicity.
Nope.
Fuck America.
Jesus Christ.
And you see, Hagbart, we can't be too judgmental of Muslims because look, they're scared of ISIS too. ISIS is killing Muslims. It's not like there are millions of people who support ISIS.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
Because no one understands the need for the separation of religion from the state than those who live under the boot of the theocrats.
Well, yeah, of course.
And all theocrats, be it the
Oh,
Islamists,
Jesus.
be it the Buddhist right, the Hindu right, the Jewish right, the Christian right. Of course, I know there are differences amongst and within this phenomenon. And of course, I know.
I'd hope you know.
She is so shouty. Like,
Holy shit.
really? Who else gave their Who else gave their presentation like this? No one, because it's obnoxious and no one wants to sit through it for long periods of time.
Yeah, for real. I like this. Like, this needs to be pointed out. There's a difference between the Islamic right and the Christian right.
And the Buddhist
and the
right.
Jewish right. Wow.
No,
Yeah, you'd think.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. The thing is, she threw that in. It's almost like she caught herself. It is insulting to our intelligence to bring up other religions in Islam.
It just is.
The Islamists are the worst of them all because of the extent of the sheer power that they have. But fundamentally, the consequences of theocratic rule on people's lives is the same. The Buddhist right, massacring Muslims in Sri Lanka and Myanmar. The Hindu right, killing people for eating
I know
beef.
you have something to say about that, Hagbard.
It's just so back and forth, it's not even worth going into. Yeah, you know, the Muslims were forcibly put there, right? They fought their way into position, they took some land, they've been a complete fucking thorn in the side of the population for over 100 years. They were a thorn in the side of the British rule when they had fucking the population rule there. It's just ridiculous.
The Jewish right, refusing to sit next to women on a plane. The Christian right, accusing children of witchcraft in Nigeria and bombing abortion clinics.
You're gonna conflate the two? That's funny.
Oh my god.
She's just so ridiculous. I mean, on principle, the problem with this is another one of those. On principle, I agree with you. On execution, you're making everyone who thinks like you look retarded.
Yeah, it's because of the conflation. It's because of even bringing this up. If you want to have a conversation about Christian radicalism, I will discuss it with you all day. We all condemn the 9 abortion clinic bombings. It's not the same. It's not worthy of bringing up in comparison to other religious violence.
No, it's just not.
And of course, the barbaric Islamists.
Just tags them in there. Doesn't want to talk about. Oh yeah, you can't list.
Know,
you
the
can't
Islamists,
list.
not the Muslims.
No, the Islamists. But you can't describe the acts that the Islamists have done because there's too many.
Look, I don't blame all Americans for the KKK,
Oh
the
God.
bombing of Iraq, and Donald Trump.
Whoa.
Holy
Reset.
shit, start that over.
Look, I don't blame all Americans for the KKK,
A defunct organization.
the bombing of Iraq, and
The bombing of Iraq that was completely necessary.
Donald
Which
Trump.
bombing? Which
Yeah,
war in Iraq?
Exactly. Any of them. Never attack Iraq. Iraq did
Oh,
nothing.
shit.
And Donald Trump. She doesn't blame us for Donald Trump. That is hilarious.
So please don't blame me for Islamic terrorism and Islamism.
Why would I? You're not a Muslim.
Yeah, no, she is an atheist and secular. But the thing is, to a certain extent, she does perpetuate this in even a subtle way. It might not even be known to her. She makes excuses for this, and she will attempt to muddy the waters and bring up other shit that doesn't matter, rather than actually address this issue.
Of course.
So you, in a small way, you are complicit. Now, does that mean that you're a terrorist? Does that mean that you're a bad person? Not per se, but it is worth bringing up.
Stop defending, profiling of Muslims and calling for closed borders when victims who are fleeing
Yeah, she's an open borders advocate, like 100%.
Yes.
Islamists need protection most. After all, this is not just a
Hold
country
up, Miriam.
of the KKK.
How do you think Islamists get in? Like, really? Like, look how far we have to regress this conversation. Open borders. Just completely open. No vetting. No questions asked. How do you think Islamists get in? Do you think Islamists just, like, spontaneously burst into countries? Just like, oh, we're here now. Time to take over shit. No, they come from this region, which we are attempting to quarantine in some small way. Not even that I would defend the policy that Donald Trump has laid out, which is a stupid thing to say. And she's going to group that in with profiling Muslims.
Yeah.
Which has also been laid out and strawmanned by people like Sam Harris.
Yeah, which, I mean, again, you have to understand, if 99% of the attacks are coming from people who had, you know, a purple line across their eyebrows, we'd be paying attention to the people with purple lines across their eyebrows. It's just how this works. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Donald Trump. It is also the country of the 1912 Bread and Roses strikes, of Joe Hill, and of a vast, brilliant civil rights movement.
Always trying to harken back to a greater time in the...
It's almost a call to have another social revolution. All right, this is the last Reason Rally thing we're gonna do, and this one's pretty bad too.
This, at the end of the day, is about justice.
Oh, God. If anyone wants to see the definition of justice, I have just put out a couple of videos wherein a black man describes what they think justice is. It's not good.
Justice or vengeance is the true question.
Yeah.
Promotion of policies and practices that enhance life for all, regardless of our differences. With empathy guiding us forward and without superstition holding us back, humanists understand that women's rights, racial equality, LGBTQ dignity, and other rights struggles need our active
Holy
support.
shit, dude. There's so much there. Wow. Okay. Well, here's something to point out. They're such pussies. Many people, excluding David Silverman, who actually ranted against this, had a really good speech at the event, were using the term humanist instead of atheist. Because it's part of this humanism plus movement.
Yeah.
Fantastic. They can't even, they're petrified of even being labeled atheists. LGBTQ dignity? What the?
Yeah,
Oh
whatever that means.
That is just, like, really analyze that. That's a scary statement.
It really is.
What does that mean? Dignity? Like, they're exempt from criticism ever?
Well, in their minds, yes.
Even me, who is a massive trans advocate, has said some mean shit about the trans community.
Yeah.
Our involvement and our leadership. The American Humanist Association recognizes the need to address issues of social justice in a powerful way and sustained way beyond rhetoric, and it has committed resources to social justice work through the development of a new staff position, the Social Justice Coordinator.
What social justice work exactly is money being funneled into?
None.
I'm offended by the wasting of money there.
Yeah,
the money could be spent on. You might as well just send the money to us.
Yeah, well, basically, I mean, look at what it's the gimme booze at this point. I mean, all he wants is, I mean, what would you define social justice as? How is it equated? How is equality equated for women, LGBT, and people of color? How does this occur if not literally just saying you need to give us money?
Give us money now.
And the advisory board that will guide the organization's efforts to promote non-theistic approaches to collective life that combat
See, that's terrifying.
discriminatory practices and policies.
You just described communism. You just literally described communism.
Pretty much. Oh,
yikes.
Okay. Well, okay. That was the Reason Rally, everyone. The Regressive Rally.
Yeah, let's never go there.
What a disgrace. All right. You know what? I thought this was funny. We're just gonna do simple seashell spell. We're just gonna keep going down. This is, oh my god.
All right.
Greetings and salutations.
What the hell? What the hell is this?
No words can explain.
I'm already
how
filled
I
with
found
regret. What is this?
You're just gonna have to wait and see, Hagbard.
Beings in YouTube land. Rosie May here. We're at our little seaside cottage, opening it up and getting it ready for spring and summer. It's pretty cold here right now. Usually we don't really get the nice weather till around the end of June, but we still love coming
Yeah, they're in my region. Fuck.
here.
I love the sound quality is amazing too, by the way.
Oh yeah, they didn't put a wind filter on this at all. It's great.
People are freaking out about this.
Northumberland Strait, and we're in a little bay here, and it's just so beautiful that I decided that this was a good opportunity.
Yeah, this is like Northern California or something. Fuck.
She's coming for
do
you.
a little seashell spell. Now, if you don't live near the sea, you can always use, I have in my hand here, you can always use a garden shell from a garden snail. But...
Okay.
Just pluck it off a snail.
Yeah,
I need
just,
that for
just
my,
take
for my
us.
witchcraft.
Yeah, it's fine. That's fine.
I'm going to use a seashell that I collected here on the beach, and I'm going to do a little seashell spell, and I'm going to show you how to do.
Oh, this ought to be good.
Good. It's very simple. You don't have to cast a circle, but certainly if you wanted to.
Oh.
Look, the circle's not necessary. It's kind of more for decoration.
Oh, casting a circle. Jesus. Magic with a K.
You could just use your finger and cast a circle, but I don't do that.
All right, everyone at home, we're about to cast a circle. Here we go. This is an interactive episode.
I took a little piece of paper and I wrote on it. And on the paper it says, "Thank you, Goddess God." And I'm just going to do kind of a little thank you
Goddess
spell.
God.
I have my
And just jam it in the seashell and throw it in the ocean, right? That's the spell. That's the fucking spell here, isn't it? This is what's gonna happen. You're gonna jam it in the fucking seashell and throw it in the ocean.
It's like it's a message in a bottle to the
seashell.
gods.
Fuck.
But you could do any spell that you wanted. You could write your intention, any intention at all on the paper, and put it into your seashell. So this is just a little thankful spell that I'm going to do, just to thank Goddess and God for all of my blessings. So I'm going to fold the paper up really small, and I'm going to tuck it inside of the seashell.
This is like a fucking how to do a spell.
Just like that.
And now?
I have my little chant ready here.
Here's the chant. Chanty time.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it in my hand and I'm going to say my little chant.
This is why they burned witches. It isn't because they were like evil or damaging. It's just because they wasted resources. When someone's spending this kind of time out doing spells instead of like, you know, digging in the earth and planting potatoes, then yeah, you got to get rid of this person. They still expect to be fed. This person still would expect to be fed in like an old society. No, you got to fucking dunk this motherfucker.
You know, there's a lot of older women who just have too much time. Way too much time.
Yeah.
This is a perfect example.
And it goes like this.
Yes, he does. Maynard does have a vineyard and his wine is great.
May I live in a state of constant grace, choosing love over fear.
By the way, she's wearing I Ching coins as earrings.
In all that I face. I'm just going to hold it. Focus on my intention.
You know, yeah, that's a good point.
And when
Look at all the cultural appropriation that's going on here.
Yeah, she's got the little Mexican shawl. She's got a weird bandana. She's got fucking I Ching necklace.
Need to know her place as a white woman.
It's great.
Feel ready. I'm going to cast it into the ocean.
See? There we go. Cast it. Not throw it. It sounds better if you say cast it.
I'm casting it.
Don't throw it. Don't chuck it into the fucking ocean. No. That's not what you mean. You mean casting it into the ocean.
I'm giving it to the wind spirits.
Sploosh! 2 feet out. 2 feet out. Sploosh. We're good.
The
there we
ripple
go.
represents spreading consciousness. And
there we go.
Shit.
Goodbye. That is for sure all the hard drive space you get to take up.
Yeah, no. That's enough of her. We're just gonna keep on going down the line. It seemed to just add it up pretty good. Women, face it, marriage can never be feminist.
Julie Bindle. Oh, imagine it naked. Just imagine this creature is a female and it wants sex. Oh.
Wait. Is this a woman? I'm confused. The sideburns say otherwise.
Ugh. It makes my whole back flex.
Avert it. Deny it all you want. Marriage is an institution that has curtailed women's freedom for centuries. But instead of rejecting the patriarchal and outdated tradition...
Oh, God, her voice in my headphones is fucking just...
We have to reject the patriarchy.
Well, the problem is, I think they have her on a boom mic, but they've got her, so her voice is capturing at about this level, and it's entirely too close. I can feel her breath on my neck.
Oh, Hagbard, imagine Julie's behind you now. Breathing.
God.
Some feminists have decided to reclaim it. We may have progressed since the Industrial Revolution, where Mary Wollstonecraft described marriage as little more than a state of legal prostitution.
Well, at the time, that's technically true.
But let's not kid ourselves.
But wait, Hagbard, you see, we may have progressed since then.
Yeah.
It's only a possibility.
We may have, but nah.
2016, Industrial Revolution, pretty similar.
Yeah, negative 1,000 out of 10 would not rape. Absolutely.
Yeah, Sargon should have done his challenge for this woman. Holy shit.
Even today, marriage is not about equality. It's about perpetuating male privilege. Being given away by your father may seem cute and romantic, but it stems from a time when women were seen literally as their father's and then their husband's property.
So it doesn't matter. Basically, like if it's just a tradition. Like you can say whatever you want about the tradition, but when they do it now, it's not to represent I own you, daughter, and now I'm giving you away.
No, not at all.
Majority of brides still opt for a white gown.
Beautiful, yes.
It's just you hate tradition. You hate you didn't get a white wedding. You hate that nobody loves you. That's all this is. I get
Pretty
it.
much.
I get it. It's just sad to watch.
Would she oppose that children are on their parents' insurance up to a certain age? Like, isn't that technically being owned by someone?
Yeah, it's
to a certain
technically
extent?
patriarchal in a way. I mean, it's absolutely parental.
Yeah, but it happens to male children as well. Like, would she oppose that? That's an interesting query.
Indeed.
But the implication that brides should be virgins is both ludicrous.
Oh my God, nobody thinks that anymore. It's been at least 35 years since anyone's even made the comment of, should she even be wearing white? That hasn't been said in quite a long time.
Have you, when was the last time you met a virgin? It's not, the world's changed.
Yeah. No, she's a lesbian by default. I've met many women like this. She's not a lesbian because she doesn't want the dick. If that were the case, they wouldn't use giant dildos.
And insulting to women. That a female who has had sex is somehow spoilt goods goes against everything feminists claim to stand for. I know feminists who...
Look at them ears.
The only people who think that are extremely religious, and that's it.
That bitch got the ears of a 95-year-old man. Look at those ears. I've seen old men. I've seen old men in retirement homes with smaller, less dangly ears.
Taken their husband's name because they say it's easier. Easier than changing your passport, email address, utilities bills, and bank account details, I suppose.
Well, you see, what happens is one goes down to a modern clerk of courts and puts in a name change, and then many of the times, for a small, somewhat nominal fee, one can have all of these things changed simultaneously by the clerk of the courts.
It's also not a requirement. There's plenty of people who just keep their names, so who cares?
You're basically being branded. So anyone...
Oh my God, okay, sure,
Holy
that's it.
shit, dude.
Yeah, that's it. It's not a means of tracking the offspring. No, it doesn't allow for... By the way, when you don't change your name, go pick up your kids from school. I've watched it happen. I've watched these feminist bitches walk into an elementary school to pick up their kids early and not be able to do it because they didn't change the last name and the kids still took the name of the father. And then you can't pick up your kids because you can't prove it.
It's just like being branded, like you're cattle, just slaves.
What a dumb hooker.
Who sees your name knows immediately who you belong to. Even if a woman does away with all these traditions, accept it. Marriage can never be a feminist act.
That's fine. No one wants to marry a feminist, so it's not really an overlapping problem.
I'm in agreement here. Marriage can never be a feminist act.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm completely fine with that. Do not marry if you're a feminist. That's fine.
Oh, look at us, Hagbard. Wait, liberals who hate feminists?
It has formed the backdrop to women's oppression for centuries, and it continues to do so.
What just a hideous mug she has. It's so terrifying every time it comes up.
I'd rather look at this. Anything is more visually pleasurable than her face.
Marriage, child brides and polygamy all show how human rights violations of women and girls all too often go hand in hand with marriage. It was not until 1991 that rape in marriage was made a criminal offence in England and Wales.
Yes, in England and Wales. Yes, we get it. We get it that the people that still have a monarchy are a little backwards, but don't blame them. It's not their fault.
And today, it's still perfectly legal for a man to rape his wife in 47 countries worldwide. So
Yeah,
if you
okay,
want to get...
so what those countries, the problem isn't marriage. What did a lot of those countries have in common? Like lack of human rights.
Yeah.
Because of backward shitholes.
Yeah, of course, let's not talk about, it's like in Africa where they have the Educate the Girls program. It's like, yeah, it's great. Educate the girls. Don't give the boys any education, so they go out and form child soldier gangs. That's cool. That's how a society functions. You'll have well-educated...
They can look after themselves.
Yeah, you'll have
They're
well-educated
superior.
slave girls. It'll be fine. It'll be great.
Men are superior. They can do anything.
They can do whatever they want.
married, then just get on with it. But please stop pretending that because you're a feminist, it's some kind of subversive statement. I love Snoop Dogg, despite his woman-hating lyrics.
Bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks.
But I don't...
Oh no, that lyric gets worse. That lyric gets worse. You had to edit that because kids might see this, let's be honest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And look, that's fine. I guess maybe for you that's a bit of cognitive dissonance. Like, I don't know how you can juggle being a radical feminist and listening to Snoop Dogg, but hey, whatever.
Don't pretend that listening to him is a feminist act. And women should stop pretending that marriage is anything other than a tool for their own oppression. Anyway,
on,
as the late human rights lawyer Paula Ettel...
Yeah, it really is.
Like you know, a lot of apologists will say, well, jihad in its purest form is just like an act of religious faith or whatever, or zealousness. Like, have you ever heard this before? A feminist act?
It's all about feminist acts.
This is getting, like, at first it was a little funny. This is terrifying.
Yeah.
No, that is unacceptable. Stamp this out now while we still can.
Never gonna happen, unfortunately.
Fuck that.
Brick said, marriage is a great institution, if you like living in institutions.
Why women should stop striving for equality.
Yes,
I've
our
got a
friends
confession
at
to
The
make.
Guardian
I don't
uploaded
believe in
that.
Oh, lovely. Always The Guardian.
That completely unbiased news source.
Goodbye, The Guardian.
All right. I guess we can do a couple of the right-wing watch things. I need something to cleanse me after that.
And the fact of the matter is, in this proclamation, the president states that it's time for us to recognize the fact that you should not be fired for who you...
Skeppo, the person typing under Nightmare Fuel Podcast is me. And I don't give a fuck about how it's done in England. Never will.
You are who you love. I would like to see the president also add, you also should not be fired for what you believe, because the only ones I know that are getting fired in this country in 2016 are Christians because they oppose that proclamation and the ideas behind it.
That's garbage. You should be able to. You can be fired for what you believe. Some people believe crazy shit, and I don't want them working for me.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it's this conversation would not be having had if this person was you know, a neo-Nazi, a known neo-Nazi who had his car had you know, neo-Nazi symbols on it, and he just parked in your parking lot, and his whole back window was a neo-Nazi symbol.
Wait, you can't fire me for my beliefs. I'm being persecuted.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same argument. I don't accept it.
What a bunch of crybabies.
Real ironies of this proclamation is the president here cites the need for more funding for HIV/AIDS, but unlike Michelle Obama, who advocates that children stay off the sodas, he doesn't advocate behavior change when it comes to homosexual behavior affecting your health. Abe, why doesn't he say stop doing what you're doing and you won't get AIDS?
Stop with the anal sex and you won't get the AIDS. Obviously.
I like that. Oh my God.
Stop with the butt fucking. God damn.
So the president pushed for more study into like treating HIV and AIDS. Well, why don't he just criticize the source of that, which we know is that faggot sex?
It's the faggot sex, obviously.
Wow. Holy shit.
Fantastic.
These people, the American Family Association, these fuckers just stand around all day.
Well, that's
and
like
talk about
fucking,
this.
that's like when someone got caught, I think it was even fucking Sargon, using a citation from the American Pediatrics Association or the American Association of Pediatric Doctors or something. And they were like, that's a known right-wing organization. It's like, he's from England. How the fuck is he supposed to know? Like, I wouldn't know if I found, propaganda from England. I wouldn't fucking know. How would I? I don't live there. I don't have a clue about these minimalist organizations like this that basically don't exist outside the borders.
Yeah, for real.
I think once again you highlight one of the glaring episodes of hypocrisy that comes from secular progressivism as applied to public policy.
Oh, keck.
In terms of other health areas, well, you need to get exercise, you need to cut the sugars, you need to not eat sodas. But in terms of homosexuality, there's no adjustment needed in your behavior.
Language, can they?
We just need to pour more money into treating the results of the behavior.
Even though it's very provable that engaging in homosexual activity is dangerous to your health.
Yeah. Of course.
Wow. These guys are really bad at English. We tell people that they can't eat the sodas. Dude.
Just don't do the butt sex. It's as easy as that. It's as easy as
do the butt sex.
Don't do the butt sex.
Yeah, just don't do it. Just, all you people out there, resist.
Just in the same way that smoking is, or sugar. Too much sugar or anything of that nature. Very interesting, but President Obama remains committed to the LGBT social and political agenda.
Who cranked that music in?
Oh, God. I'm so depressed that, they have, a headquarters and, they meet up for coffee.
Yeah, good call. These guys are all fat fucks, and they're going to lecture people on health.
Yeah, look at these fucking guys. This is just sad. This is what America's come to. Gross.
Yeah, you just gotta cut the cum out your diet. You'll be healthier.
It's not good for protein.
Not good coming.
All right. Yeah, we'll do the other ones, I guess. Sure. Why not?
I understand that we have to win the hearts and minds of people into the kingdom of God. But once they're there, what do we do with them? They shouldn't still be conducting business the way they did before.
Wait, what?
I understand that we have to win the hearts and minds of people into the kingdom of God. But once they're there, what do we do with them?
What does that mean?
That's a scary statement right there. Holy, we're building up an army. Now how shall we command them?
They shouldn't still be conducting business the way they did before. That's a part of the cultural commission, is that we need to train people. As Jesus said, teach them all things that I have taught you. And part of that is impacting the world around us with truth. We are not disqualified from engaging in the public square simply because we're Christian. And that's where we're at today, where people want us to check our Christian faith at the door of even public service, not just holding public office, but if you're a fireman, a policeman.
There are still states with religious checks. What are you talking about?
I like how they act like they're being discouraged from the public conversation. The majority of this country is Christian. How are you guys, if you guys are being held down that easily, then you're fucking pathetic.
What is this even about? Yeah, no, you can't come in and say, I'm going to do this because of God. It doesn't work like that.
A teacher, you're supposed to, a football coach, you're supposed to leave your faith at home or within the confines of the church.
Coaches cannot proselytize.
this is one of those where you then ask him, okay, well, then should the Muslim population be allowed to bring their faith in, and the Hindi population allowed to bring their faith in, or Buddhists teach Buddhism? Is this a thing that you're accepting with?
Of course they're not. They're theocrats. They believe in their God is the one true God.
Right. Totally contrary to what the founders envisioned, and I would argue, Frank, totally contrary to what God has called us to do.
Yeah, reminds us of Newhouse's.
Well, at least he has a direct line to God, or he wouldn't be saying this.
At least he has a direct line to the founding fathers.
Comment about the naked public square. You can practice your faith as long as you do that in private, so no one has to see you do that. But you wonder whether the day will come where even that is a risky thing, where you're...
You wish. You fucking...
Oh my God, look at the victim complex.
Yeah, you desperately wish that you could fucking be like, see, we're finally being persecuted like the Christians we always knew we were supposed to be persecuted.
We're being thrown to lions.
Finally, the lions are back again.
Oh, what pussies.
Private practice of your faith in your home will not be tolerated either if it subscribes to historic Christian truth.
We see this administration, we see the left creating these spiritual ghettos where we are forced into these, confined to these areas, trying to quarantine faith so it's more easily controllable. And with that comes a marginalization and a stigmatizing of our faith.
Yeah, it's the spiritual ghettos that are being occurred. Yeah, that's
we're being forced into. You might as well have just said spiritual concentration camps.
Yeah,
like really. Let's just get even more ridiculously hyperbolic. Yeah, your precious little faith is being quarantined off from the rest of society. How sad. Oh.
So that the next generation wants to avoid it. I mean, that's what we've seen in our public schools, where kids who pray are chastised, those who carry their Bible are marked. Therefore, it's marked? Like, don't...
What the fuck?
Fantastic.
Marked. I did that shit as a kid in school. I didn't get in trouble.
You didn't get your ass kicked while kids stood over you saying, Christian? That wasn't a thing?
No? Most of the kids were Christian. They had Christian clubs.
What do you know? This is impossible. The Christians are persecuted people in America. Let's be serious right now.
I love when they bring up the school thing, because it is such a... There's no evidence for this. This has never happened. What the fuck are they talking about? Because they took out teacher-led prayer in the 50s? Oh my God, persecution.
Exactly.
Touch that. That's bad. And now we're seeing it in our nation's military. It's made its way all the way up through the ranks of our society.
I don't even know what he means by that. I'd actually like to hear more from that. What is it? What do you even mean it's made its way to the military?
Sure. We'll do the last one.
Is this the last one, or is this the last one?
I'm not sure, because that one I kind of want to address in full. We might do that one next show. We'll do this one, then we'll see what we have time for.
I remember in Sunday school reading one of my favorite stories. It was about a giant, a bad giant.
Okay.
He came into a valley one day, and
this guy is the governor of Louisiana, I think. Scary thought.
Yeah, that's great.
He called to the Israelites, "Send down your champion and let me vanquish him." We were in that.
We shall vanquish thee.
That valley. But Tony Perkins was there with us.
When the microphone's attached to the podium, do not hit the podium.
He was there as surely as our Lord and Savior.
You see, if I did that, it would be like this. You see, it's not good.
Surely as a God of all gods that stood there with us. And I can tell you how fortunate we are in this nation and in this organization to have a man of faith and leadership. And Tony, God bless you for what you do.
Oh my. What is this even about?
He's about to get to his point. I don't even know why they started off with all that bullshit.
Do they believe that we will just simply walk away from those freedoms that our forefathers died for? That Samuel Adams and those men that were divinely inspired to write that Declaration of Independence and our
Divinely inspired.
Amen. Hallelujah, Hagbar. That there's true.
Jesus.
Constitution, do they think we will simply abandon that? They don't know us very well, do they?
Wow, that's scary.
Well, luckily it looks
a really
like
scary little sly look.
Well, luckily it looks like this room's going to age out of existence rather shortly. So
Yeah, that it's a problem not worth worrying about. Give it 3 decades and all these people are gone.
They don't know that Christians have been persecuted throughout the ages. They don't know that if it takes crucifixion, we will stand in line before abandoning our faith and our belief in our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Whoa.
So,
well, you heard them, guys. They want to be crucified. I don't know why, but they do.
It really is a torture cult, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
It's a self-flagellating, guilt-riddled cult, and it is just pathetic and scary.
So if we are going to stand, now is the time and this is the place.
Well,
no.
Hopefully they'll make it quick.
No, thank you.
The one thing I'll give the Christians is they tend to suicide more frequently than they go on suicide bombings. So, feel free.
Yeah, it is better, but it's still really scary. Let's, we didn't do him yet. Let's do Gank. I think this one's short.
Gank.
So now we still have the Fox News of the world. We still have the establishment media.
We still have you.
And so
I hate this. I hate this narrative.
Yeah.
I will take Fox, CNN, and MSNBC over
this douchebag.
These fuckers any day. Because they have a corporate bias, which, is very regulated or whatever. These guys have Jank's bias. He's the CEO. Every bias runs through him. How scary is that?
Seriously.
when they talk about Black Lives Matter and they say they're a hate group, okay, so, and then there aren't enough people to fight back, we fight back for them, right?
He takes the brilliant banner up to defend the dark people. Knowing evil Whitey will just ignore the fact that they're really good and pure as a whole group, and never once have I seen repeated videos of them saying, "Are you white media? You white media? Get out of here. We don't talk to no white media." That's not what happens.
Yeah,
no. And then one guy, my favorite is when the guy said, "No, I'm Jewish," and his answer was, "That's worse."
Holy crap. Terrible. Oh, Jesus Christ. No, when there was that woman who was in Toronto, part of the BLM movement there, who'd sent out that tweet about killing white people or whatever. Like, we're talking about like leaders in these groups. And you're going to say, "Oh, it's ridiculous that they call it a hate group."
It's totally ridiculous.
Not all, guys. Not all BLM members. I'm sure there's some good people in there. I'm not denying that. But I mean, like, have you seen what they say on Twitter? Like, it's really fucking terrible. It's shocking.
So, when I had a former Baltimore cop on the show, and
oh God, I actually followed him for quite a while, and it's funny because they buried the video of him that set BLM after him before his conversion to BLM. Because before, he was just an ex-cop that was telling kind of like war stories. And he's like, yeah, there were a couple incidences and yada, yada, yada. He went full fucking social justice warrior. But right before that, he got condemned for going on the Joe Rogan podcast and essentially admitting that due to the fact that there's no way to track the partnerings in the inner cities of Baltimore, that there was no way to tell how much inbreeding was going on. But they figured it was a pretty high percentage. And he got lambasted, just lamb-fucking-basted by Black Lives Matter, and then completely like rolled over and was just like, all right, I work for you guys now.
You know, I don't like people like that, but to a certain extent, like, and it's not a decision I would make, but I do feel I can almost get on their side. It's like, holy shit, yeah, I guess, you know, You have to stop the harassment and pain at some point. Like, that's just...
Yeah, exactly.
Really. It's sad to see. Like, and I'm not even justifying it or saying he should do that, but, they are brutal.
The first thing he said to me really struck me. Michael A. Wood Jr., he's a really brave guy. He stopped being on the force, and he said, I said, so are all the stories that you hear from the black community true about all the police abuse, etc.? He said, did you think all the black people in the country were lying for 100 years straight?
Yeah, that's after it came out. Like I said, before that, he was literally saying, yes, sometimes it is made up, but, he actually would like to point out the fact that a lot of the over-policing occurred from black police officers.
Well, that's just because they're twerking for master, Hagbard. They're trying to look good for the white man.
Yeah, not that they see that, their own kids and probably large percentages of their family live in this squalor and they'd like to clean the community up. No.
No, they're Uncle Tom's.
Yeah, clearly.
Jesus. Look at this. Look at that neck. Just. Ugh.
You mean non-neck?
He said, no, of course.
That's a non-neck.
Of course they're true. And he said, if I worked in a rich white area, and he's white, he said, if I worked in a rich white area, we'd have to go to the poor black areas to do the arrests because we knew it wasn't going to be any judge's son, right?
No, it's because you can't find any crime in the rich white neighborhoods, you see.
Very little. I mean, there might be some drug stuff.
You're not going to find
it. That's not the crime that
That's
we're
what I'm saying. You're not going to
about.
find any crime. You're not going to drive through one of these upper middle class neighborhoods and see someone on the street sitting on a bucket upside down that he lifts the right side of to grab crack baggies out of. That's just not something that's going to happen. It's just not. But you can catch people doing that kind of narcotics distribution in bad neighborhoods. You just don't want to acknowledge these things.
So racist.
So that's how the powerless gets stepped on, but not on our watch.
Oh my God, I just realized Jank has a That's Writer. You hearing that? Listen back.
But not on our watch, okay? So if they're not going to represent us, we'll represent ourselves.
Holy shit.
That's right. That's right.
That's right.
That's right,
a bunch
y'all.
of Hebrew Israelites are watching.
So I knew it wasn't going to be any judge's son, right? So that's how the powerless gets stepped on, but not on our watch.
That's right.
So if they're not going to represent us, we'll represent.
Is Jank giving his typical right? And so
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
Oh. Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Well, there were some shorter ones I was meaning to do as well. Let's do Muslim professor proposes Sharia law.
So Sharia is being practiced in the United States. We as an Islamic Center of Bucharest, we practice Sharia. If someone doesn't know. When there is no Sharia, Islamic Sharia, they die in dozens and hundreds every day because of organized crime. People kill people, other people to steal pizza for $10 in stores. So when Islamic Sharia say...
Wait, hold up. We need to get n8glenn in here, because there's many interpretations.
What
I mean,
the
if you
fuck?
advocate for Sharia law, you're not inherently a bad person.
Yeah, no. Not at all. And, of course, it's not that you're inherently a bad person that now needs to get Sharia law.
Punishment. So even though it sounds very severe, but if that is the solution to prevent any crimes, then it still has a lot of rules and regulations. I will just mention one and we'll stop here, which is, let's say, cutting the hand of a person if they steal. It sounds very severe, it sounds very barbaric, I know. But if it takes one or two people to have their hands cut off and then there's...
Look at the guy sitting next to him who's staring dead at him like, you cannot possibly be saying this shit out loud, dog.
I know this kind of sounds severe and barbaric. Trust me, I'm going to spin it so it sounds like, look, this is literally what he's about to say.
Yes, you need public totalitarian control and then everything turns out well.
If you make an example of one or two people by cutting off their hands...
Motherfucker, this happened in my origin state on my goddamn birthday of this year. Are you kidding me? Fuck off. You do not get to destroy this. No.
Oh, it's so bad.
No more stealing in the whole nation. That's a much better resolution than having hundreds of people die every day.
What? Wow. What? Are you kidding me?
Fuck you, dude.
Yeah, you're lucky it was probably mostly Muslims there, because if normal Floridians had heard that, you'd be dead.
Oh.
Massively to say, because I see some audience had a little thing. He was referring to an Islamic state law, not a law that will be applied in America. No kidding. I think some of you got the impression you so-called can't apply that in America. He didn't say that.
They took his mic! They took his fucking mic because he was gonna disagree.
Oh my god.
Fantastic.
Yeah, very clearly, this is an ISIS law. This is Sharia. This is Islamic law that he did want applied.
Look, he snatched the mic from him. Oh, fuck.
He said that you need to apply Sharia law because if you don't, then more people will die of organized crime. So of course he wants to apply it everywhere.
What amazing logic that is, like Sharia law isn't essentially organized crime. Like Islam isn't essentially the mafia.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's exactly what he said.
That's exactly what he said.
That's good.
I love that no one was hearing that. Everyone's like, nope, I heard that shit dead to what he said. He said exactly that. Don't try and fuck with that. Nope.
You know, we'll do those other two, too. We'll do Egyptian political analysts. This one's short as well. We've got time.
Oh, memory. I love memory TV.
كل الدلائل بتشير انه الكيان الصهيوني
Filthy Zionists!
Pigs, Jew pig.
هو اللي ورا موضوع الطائرة والأيام أثبت لك إنه ده وراها الكيان الصهيوني الحقير القذر عشان الأدلة اللي قلتها لك والموضوع اللي قلته لك.
يعني زرع قنبلة يعني ولا تتوقع إيه؟
أروح قنبلة ليه؟ يا سيد الفاضل مش عايز.
Fantastic.
They use missiles. I mean, because come on, they have the military.
Fucking fantastic.
عايزين نحط راسنا في الرمال تاني وأنا من موقع هذا. بناشد اي شاب مصري او اي شاب عربي يقابل اي اسرائيلي يمثل بجثته ويقتله فوق.
لا 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 لا.
Holy shit.
The announcer's like, hey bud, come on now. This is TV. Let's tone that shit down just a little bit.
Have you ever heard something that shocking on the news? Like that's
No, that's pretty hardcore.
Wow.
That's pretty hardcore, dude.
If you come across an Israeli, this is a mustering of all.
Kill him and
Egyptians
mutilate his body. Like, okay.
Yeah, don't just kill him. Mutilate him.
Okay.
ده على مسؤوليتي.
لا الكلام على مسؤوليتك بس احنا لا ندعو الى العنف.
يا استاذي مفيش حاجه اسمها لا ندعو العنف. العنف بالعنف والوساخه بالوساخه والمعامله بالمثل. الكيان الصهيوني الحقير لا التزم عادات ولا تقاليد ولا اتفاقيات.
It's great.
We're not calling for violence. It's pretty much just like eye for an eye, reparations here. Like
Yeah, of course.
Violent against us, we're violent against them. You know.
It's clearly time to kill him. I mean, that only adds up.
وصدر لنا الايدز وصدر لنا
Yes,
اللبان الجنسي
as well as aphrodisiac bubblegum. Jesus, all the Egyptian conspiracies. Fuck.
As well as humanitarian aid into Palestine.
لنا البلاوي السوداء وانا عامل دعوه بقى لها 4 سنين في المحكمه بالغاء اتفاقيه العار اللي هي اتفاقيه كامب ديفيد او تعديلها او الغائها لان احنا التزمنا بيها من واقع ادياننا السماويه وواقع عاداتنا وواقع تقاليدنا الا انه الكيان الحقير ما التزمش فانا بدعو كل واحد يقابل اي ما فيش حاجه اسمها اسرائيل تيجي عندنا في شرم الشيخ ولا في الغردقه.
لا.
Yes, but remember where we started this. Remember where we started this with the fact that Jews were the murderers. Remember how all this started. Jews are the evil ones that want to cleanse these people from their lands for no reason whatsoever.
Oh, clearly. Even though it is dictated in the Quran, the exact opposite.
There's absolutely no way that this kind of television coming out of the Arabic world would be allowed to, like, you know, make the Jews modify their position on having Arabs in, right? You can't understand how this would happen.
Hagbar, that's ethnic cleansing.
Jesus.
ولا يدنسوا اقدامهم ولا هوانا ولا شهيقهم بزفير.
لا يا عم
يا استاذ الفاضل بلاش الشغل الدلع والطبطبه.
احنا مش دلع ولا طبطبه احنا لا ندعو.
I love that poor announcer looks just overwhelmed.
Yeah, like cut the mic, go to commercial, do something.
العنف بس انما انا قطعهم وقطع تجارتهم وقطع
سعوديه فرق موت لاصطياد اي اسرائيلي في اي مكان في العالم.
Awesome.
Death squads. He just comes out and says it.
Fucking straight out death squads for the Jews.
صفات مين يا دكتور؟ وانتوا في مجلس النواب
Foibles would be
لازم
proud.
Seriously.
تعملوا لجنه تشكيل او لجنه تقصي حقائق او تعملوا حاجه. الشعب خلاص، الشعب مرارات.
لا 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 لا.
فاعل. على فكره الغالب والمصايب السوداء غطت عليه موضوع الطياره، لانه 90% من الشعب المصري متاكد ان ورا الموضوع ده اسرائيل.
90% of Egyptian people want death for apostates. I don't give a shit what they think.
هقول لك على دليل اخر قوي. النهارده لما نتنياهو يقبل استقاله وزير الدفاع، وزير الدفاع احتج على موضوع ضرب الطيار. فده كيان اسرائيلي صراحه. لابد من التخلص منه.
Jesus. All right. That was
wow.
That was fun.
Well, that's worth reading subtitles.
That was fun.
Wow. Oh god. We could probably do just one more to finish up.
All right.
And I am thinking because I want to save that one up top for another time. Yeah, let's do that blonde chick. Did we already do that one? We have goals and dreams.
No.
All right, let's do that.
Hello, beautiful tribe.
Oh god.
As you can see, I am on a beautiful.
Okay, we're doing a Justin Bieber video.
Yes, clearly this is Justin Bieber in about 10 years. After he goes Michael Jackson and like shrinks his nose and everything.
In LA, and I went on this hike because I had a really productive day. I got a lot done. I spent many hours on my computer, and what I've noticed personally, as I grow more sensitive to energy, to my own, inner being, to the environment.
This is what wealthy Californians do. This is literally,
Wow.
this is just a little peek into being wealthy in California.
Well, what we were saying earlier about the older woman who's casting spells, like this is someone with way too much time on her hands. If she was getting paid for that poetry that we saw in that one video.
Oh, I know.
That's a waste of resources.
I'm noticing that technology is draining me really quickly, and so I used to be able to spend hours on my computer no problem, or hours binge watching TV shows, and I can't do that anymore. I know.
Oh, wow. First world problems, everyone.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
First world problems.
Notice that when I do spend time on technology, even if it's just my phone, I need to replenish. I need to go into nature and ground into the earth and actually give away a lot of the stuff that I'm taking on energetically that's coming through these devices.
Wow.
That's called taking a dump, dear.
I like when people say like, "Oh, today I spent time on technology."
Yes, her period is sacred, and it's something that needs to be respected. This is indeed this young woman.
Yeah, that's this chick. Yeah, we need to recognize she's created something beautiful.
Yeah, if this is the LA Hills, they're just scrubland. I'm not impressed.
Yeah, no.
So if you feel drained a lot, it may very well be an indication that you should cut back on your technology time and step up your time in nature.
Yeah, I just can't seem to get the energy together to binge watch my favorite shows anymore. I don't.
I'm
it's
so
like
drained.
It's draining.
I can't binge watch Pretty Little Liars anymore.
I need to have a frappe of green tea and like some exotic fruit that only 3 people have ever heard of in my state. That'll totally give me the pick me up I need.
That's completely natural. Frappes.
Seriously.
But as I was saying earlier today, in a different video, there's lessons to be learned in everything, and everything is a teacher. And I was hiking just now, and I watched a little.
Wow, that was deep.
Little bird.
Oh, you know what? Devin says that if we get 1,000 subs, he'll kill himself.
I saw that.
So if there's any Devin haters who want
I think he's bluffing.
No, he's dead serious. He's got faith, bro.
And it was flying in circles around me. And I was watching how it was flapping its wings, and then it would coast. And then it would flap its wings, and then it would coast. And it kind of kept doing that. And so there's a couple things I noticed. One, I noticed the balance that it was finding so perfectly between...
Oh my god, this woman. Holy fuck.
I would look at a bird flying, and it would coast and flap, and it was like a yin-yang.
Have you ever seen a ditzy, like, 36-year-old woman who is poorly driving an oversized SUV? That's this woman. She's allowed to drive. She's just allowed to go out on the streets with a 3,000-pound vehicle and risk other people's lives.
Oh, it's terrifying. Maybe it's like that Carrie Underwood song was like, let Jesus take the wheel. She'll just let the vibes take the wheel, the good vibes, the spiritual energies of the universe. They'll guide me to my destination.
Seriously.
And coast. Effort and relaxation. That was really cool to see, because I think so many of us struggle in the modern sort of go society to find that balance. We work really hard, and everything becomes about getting shit done and to-do lists and productivity and strategy, and we're all sort of measuring ourselves by these outward goals and successes. And
okay.
Oh, this is just one of those things. This is just a snapshot of upper middle class California.
This is a snapshot of insanity. Like, really, what has been said?
No, these are just the women you meet at bars, like around here even.
Do you have any stories to tell us, Hagbard?
No, I don't.
Did you hook up with any Wiccans?
No, I would never sleep with a Wiccan. They smell of patchouli.
Coasting is just as important, but it can be very difficult to find that balance. So how much time are you spending every day truly honoring what you need, what your body's telling you? It may be that you need rest. It may be that you need to go outside. It may be that you need to curl up with a book, or, have a 2-hour conversation with someone you love.
This is literally just the face of privilege. This is just the face. I can just take any time I need to do what I need to do. It's fine. No one is reliant on me.
I need to replenish, Meanwhile, there's people who actually have to do shit, but,
in China, they have songs that the women and young children sing while they lean down and replant the rice every season, right?
That's their way of replenishing their energy.
Exactly.
Some people do it through hard work. Personally, I do it curling up with a good book.
It may be that, or it may be something productive that's moving your business forward. But truly honoring whatever it is, and not feeling like you have to do something just because everyone else is telling you that that's how it works. This bird was giving me such a beautiful understanding of that natural balance that's available to us between exertion and relaxation.
It's not fair. I smoke all the pot on the planet, and I can't feel this level of fucking spiritualism. This is just over the top.
You haven't achieved that level of zen. When someone starts saying that they saw a sign in the birds, be very worried.
Yeah, I tend to tune out pretty quickly.
And the other thing I noticed about it...
I saw a flock, and it symbolized something. They made a shape in the sky.
That was so cool was I realized...
When I turned and I saw the paper bag being blown in the wind, it was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen.
Holy shit, that's from American Beauty.
Yeah, that's where we're at right now.
That's the level we're at.
It's flying in circles around me. It's not actually going anywhere. It's literally, it was enjoying flight, the act of flying so much that it just kept flying in circles and coasting and flapping its little wings, and I was like, that's really the ultimate lesson, isn't it? That no matter whether you're coasting or you're exerting effort, propelling yourself forward, you're enjoying it both equally.
I don't think the bird had any concept of what you're bringing up here.
I'm sure the bird really enjoyed flapping its wings to move from place to place.
Yeah, and the coasting is not something you can just do and enjoy unless you want to just enjoy your way down.
It's not flying, it's falling with style.
Jesus.
Yeah, if you're really trying to, I just need to replenish my energies. Read a good book, 2-hour conversation with someone I love. Bitch, you've been
Watch
coasting.
the butterflies, You're
just coasting. Eventually, the ground's coming up very shortly.
And you're not trying to get anywhere. You're actually just in it for the journey. Because that's all there is. This present moment.
Hagbard, it's not really it's not really the destination, it's the journey.
It's about this moment, don't you understand? It's about living in the moment. Don't plan for the future. Don't you understand that thinking like this isn't why 2/3 of the third world is how it is? No. Living in the moment isn't exactly what the spiritualities that have failed teach. No.
And no God lifted a finger. The God of Abraham did not lift a finger for my ancestors, and neither did the Swahili gods. I'm just waiting on the right God to come save us.
Is all there is. Everything else is just a figment of our imagination. It lives in this illusion that we call future. So I wanted to share that with you guys.
What?
And send you much love as I will
The
continue
illusion that we call future.
giving it back.
Again, that's how you know she's very, very comfortable. She doesn't have to worry about her future, unlike the rest of us.
The future, it's kind of this vague, abstract thing. It's not... What really is the future?
Jesus.
Oh, okay.
Well, that was an active nightmare.
Yeah, that's going to be the show. Yeah, we really lived up to our name today, didn't we?
Yeah, that was painful.
Yeah. I hope everyone enjoyed. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe. Check out Hagbard's channel. He's kind of a big deal now.
Kind of a big deal.
Big deal.
I'm pretty sweet.
You guys are the best, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
Bye, everyone.